What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Where are y'all at? So, the day they announced the Manny Pacquiao Chris Algieri fight in Macau, China, I put out a video letting you guys know, hey, it's been finalized, it's official. I also put out a challenge to y'all. I said, if you want to intelligently debate with me in the comments or whatever, why this is a good fight, support it with fact, and then we could go. You know what I mean? I challenge y'all to a duel. Where are y'all at? I haven't really seen anybody that wants it. I thought anybody can't get it. Some of you guys like, oh, Ego, you're so biased, man. You're just biased. You hate Pacquiao. I'm giving you the opportunity to explain your side intelligently and explain to me what Chris Algieri has done that makes this a good fight. So no one's really taking me up on the offer. I don't get it. Like, y'all talk shit. Y'all, oh, you don't know shit. I'm asking you. I'm challenging y'all to a duel. And no one's really taking the opportunity. If I'm dumb, I don't know shit, you explain it to me in front of your peers why this is a good fight. Now, stylistically, that is the only, like I said before, saving grace. Pacquiao has struggled with pure boxers, but I was talking in reference to people hating Marcos Maidana and Floyd Mayweather in that rematch, but loving this fight, saying that's a shit fight and this is a good fight. So please explain how this fight is better. And you better hope Bob Arum, Todd, all the motherfuckers put together a slamming undercard, which they never really do. Top Rank is really known for their main events. Their main events are good, like Pacquiao Bradley rematch that was good. Miguel Cotto Sergio Martinez Chavez versus Brian Vera rematch. They have good main events, but their undercards suck dick by and large. I don't remember the last memorable stacked card. So they better hope. That's why I made this meme. They better hope they stack it. I'm trying to see Tupac versus Biggie on this undercard. I want to see Mayweather versus T.I. What they say I got two black eyes? Where they at though? What? You for real? Hey. I want to see all that shit. I want to see Ivan Drago. I must break you. You will lose. Versus Apollo Creed. I know Apollo Creed died in Rocky 4. I want that motherfucker to come back to life and get his rematch. He deserves a rematch. He deserves to be reincarnated. This is the type of undercard that is needed for this fight. This is again why I made this meme, to sell 1 million US pay-per-view buys. It is not going to happen unless you put something dope. The dopest undercard, probably like the dopest undercard this year. Like I said, I want to see Riddick Bowe versus Lennox Lewis finally. I know the motherfucker's retired. I need to see that. And again, I challenge y'all. Have an intelligent conversation with me. You know boxing. I don't know shit, right? Explain how this is a good fight and it's a better fight than Mayweather versus Maidana Part 2. Now, again, we could go bar for bar, line for line. I'm not too keen on Mayweather versus Maidana because if Floyd is leaving the sport when he says he is, he has like 3 fights left or whatever, and I don't want to lose up those spaces. But me personally, I'm also the motherfucker that said Floyd won in a tough, competitive fight against Maidana. Some of you guys didn't. You shitted on Floyd Mayweather and you said he didn't win. So you shouldn't have shit to say about this rematch. Period. And again, when we're talking Chris Algieri, no disrespect. I hope you guys don't take this as disrespect to Chris Algieri, because I actually was talking to Chris and Ben, trying to set up an interview for you guys. And this is nothing against him, but facts are facts. You guys shit on other fighters like Robert Guerrero. Why did he get a Mayweather shot? He was the mandatory. And put any of these other people that Floyd Mayweather has fought, put their resume in recent memory, put their resume against Chris Algieri's, and you will see what the fuck I'm talking about. Guerrero, yeah, he jumped up 2 weight classes, had a long layoff, but after jumping up 2 weight classes, he took his first fight against an undefeated puncher at the time, Selçuk Aydin. He was undefeated, and he was a big puncher, and he had a belt. He had the interim belt. Guerrero did that, won that fight, came back, got a little more acclimated to the weight, fought Andre Berto, someone with also a better resume than Chris Algieri. You could say whatever the fuck, Berto's trash, he's a bum, whatever you want to say about Berto, but guess what? His fucking resume is better than Chris Algieri. He at least has fights with Luis Collazo. He has fights with Guerrero now. I mean, the Victor Ortiz fight. His resume is still better than Chris Algieri's. You look at Ricky Hatton. Hatton was undefeated, fought Jose Luis Castillo. He fought Costa Zoo and defeated both of them. He was undefeated at the time. His resume is better than Chris Algieri. Canelo. Oh, he ain't fought no one. He was too green. But guess what? He still had more credible names despite where they were in their career, despite if they were smaller men or not, better names. Josecito Lopez, he had Shane Mosley, Kermit Cintron, Carlos Baldemir. He also had Austin Trout before he fought Mayweather. These are all fights he had before he fought Mayweather. He also fought, some of you guys sleep on this fact. Shout out to Miguel Vasquez, who is a very tricky fighter. Canelo fought him twice and beat him twice. And that's a slippery character that's hard to look good against. Canelo beat him twice. I don't really hear people in the YTBC talk about that, but Canelo beat that dude twice, and he's very awkward. Very, very awkward. I would put him up there with the Carlos Quintanas, the Mauricio Herreras, the Carlos Molina at 154. Guys like that, they make you look like shit. Richard Brill, these guys don't, they're very awkward and unorthodox, and it's very hard to look stellar against them, like where you just have a dominant, flawless performance. Most fighters that end up fighting him, even Edeslani Lara looked like shit against Carlos Molina at 54. You know what I mean? So, again, Canelo's resume is better than Chris Algieri's. So, any way you slice it, okay, Maidana, look at Maidana. He had a title, for one, a title from Adrian Broner. You could say, oh, Broner was a lightweight who moved up. He still beat Paulie Malignaggi. It was a close fight, competitive fight, and he still had the title. But even without that, Maidana has a better resume. Maidana's been in there with Eric Morales. He's been in there with Victor Ortiz when Victor Ortiz, before he made Victor Ortiz start this quitting pattern. You know what I'm saying? So he was in there against the Dangerous when Golden Boy was on Victor Ortiz's nutsack and really pumping him as the next Golden Boy. He beat him. He has a deeper resume. He's been in there with Devin Alexander. So I'm not talking about if they won, lost, or drew with these fighters. I'm talking about who they've been in the ring with. You look at Chris Algieri. What's his claim to fame? Ruslan Provodnikov, and that was hard fought. That was a very challenging fight where he had to battle adversity. His eye was swelling shut. He nearly got stopped in the first round. Certain people, even myself, when I made my initial post-fight video, I gave it to Ruslan, and I rewatched it, and I'm like, okay, I see what people are talking about. He did outbox, and Ruslan was just kind of not landing. But there's still people to this day who are respected or have some sort of name in the boxing community that still feel Algieri didn't even win that fight. People like Dan Rayfield. Look at his thoughts. He thinks Ruslan won against Chris Algieri. And he's getting a Pacquiao opportunity. Like I said, I'm no hater. More power to him. He gets $1 million now, $2 million, whatever he's getting. That's great. That's great for his career. It's an opportunity. If I were him, I would take it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about top rank, milking the consumer, and Pacquiao fighting at continual catch weights. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I made this meme as well. So that's what I'm trying to debate. Who's going to take me up on my offer? Fuck a dislike. You can dislike the video. You can like it. You can leave comments like you're a bitch and all extra shit. Debate me. Go line for line and tell me that these people that you hate Mayweather so much or whatever, and I'm so biased, will really prove what's what and who's who. And please tell me and explain to me which one of Mayweather's most recent opponents has a lesser resume than Chris Algieri. Like, what is Chris Algieri's claim to fame? Like I said, Ruslan Provodnikov, that's his biggest fight. And Ruslan hasn't even won his biggest fight. His biggest win is against Mike Alvarado. And this is no disrespect to him, because I told you several videos ago, he's one of my favorite brawlers in the game. But his claim to fame is Mike Alvarado. Let's be honest. He gave Timothy Bradley a run for his money, nearly stopped him. But guess what? Nearly is another word for almost, which is basically runner-up, straight up. So please explain to me who Chris Algieri has beat to make this quote-unquote a good fight. The only reason it's quote-unquote a good fight is because some of you guys have so much love for Pacquiao no matter who he chooses, it's a good fight. He could fight fucking Punky Brewster, and it's a good fight. You'd be like, yeah, that's a good ass fight. I know it's a girl, but the bitch is strong. Like, no, stop trying to justify it. Chris Algieri, despite his frame, is coming up in weight, and he doesn't have a deep resume. He hasn't had these championship level of exposure or fights, especially in another fucking in Macau, China. You know what I mean? Outside of the states, he's moving up in weight. Whether you think he'll acclimate to it well or not, I'm not arguing that because he is a large frame dude. I'm talking about his actual experience because he beat Manuel Taylor, who beat Kareem Mayfield today. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes him ready for Pacquiao. Again, the biggest bang, like, he could win, and that doesn't change the fact that this is a cherry pick fight because Robert Guerrero picked a soft touch, quote unquote, in the Japanese fighter that no one knew, and Kamagai, and it turned out to be a potential fight of the year candidate. So just because you cherry pick doesn't mean you're not in a world of trouble. I'm just saying this is not the right choice in terms of not hating. It's just not the right choice for Pacquiao. He's trying to solidify his legacy. Like, yo, I'm one of the best that ever. I'm one of the best that did it. Put your final touches on. And you just took out an undefeated fighter in Timothy Bradley. Fighting Chris Algieri at a catchweight is backtracking to me. And some of you guys, you claim up and down, oh, you're such a hater and all this stuff. I say the same thing. I'm consistent, far more consistent than y'all. Some of y'all say this is a terrible fight or this is a fight, and then months later you switch and, oh, I knew, you know what I mean? You'll say a fighter's about to get knocked out, and then they don't get knocked out, and then you switch it. Oh, it's because he was cherry picked or he's a bitch, but you were saying this bitch was gonna lose and get knocked out, and that's not what happened. So I'm very consistent. You can check all my videos, do your homework, do your research, and you'll find that I'm consistent. I consistently say the same thing unless someone changes my opinion or a string of events change my outlook on them. But again, this is not the right fight for Pacquiao, in my opinion. And you guys make all the excuses in the world. Oh, it's because he's with Top Rank. So when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, you say, oh, Mayweather's a bitch. He's ducking Pacquiao because if he really wanted to make the fight with Pacquiao, he could do it. Yet Top Rank and Pacquiao at least should be in the driver's seat with his own career. He's made enough money for Bob Arum for Top Rank. You mean to tell me he can't vehemently be like, yo, I don't even want this fight. You got to find something else for me. You're saying he's a puppet and he has no say in it? I understand if he's not his own boss and all that, but he has no say in his career. So they can put him in there with anybody, and then he's just going to fight him. Oh, it's up to my promoter. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I think Pacquiao does have some level of a voice, and he likes this fight. He's okay with this fight. And again, when I say stuff, I'm the bad guy. Yet Ruslan Provodnikov just went on record and had a gang to say about this, and he has the same fucking trainer as Pacquiao. And it's okay because Ruslan said it. Even Pacquiao's own trainer, Freddie Roach, says he prefers Ruslan Provodnikov versus Chris Algieri. Yet I say it, and I'm an asshole. I'm a flow-mo. I'm all kinds of this and that. And his own promoter is saying these things. Ruslan Provodnikov was on record saying that, in essence, Pacquiao, he could cock block Pacquiao and Algieri for happening because he has a rematch clause with Algieri. So he says he could intervene legally and stop that from happening and put an X-nay on that. So again, this could be a challenging fight for Pacquiao based on what he struggles at and what he's good at. It still doesn't justify this fight even happening. It still doesn't make it pay-per-view worthy at all. So like I said, they're really going to have to work to make an undercard that is very convincing for the public to support this. Like, it just makes no sense. And there's plenty of guys who aren't flat-footed and don't just come forward and brawl that are actually at Pacquiao's weight division of 147. There's guys you can find. Even 140, take the cream of the crop. Pacquiao is an elite fighter. So why is he fighting somebody with one real significant win? And again, it was a hard-fought win. as his pick in Macau, China. Like I said, I just don't see it. Please explain to me how this is a good fight, other than the mere fact that style wise, Pacquiao has also struggled with. And again, I said this in the last video. Pacquiao has struggled with movers and people with boxing prowess, but Chris Algieri doesn't really have the power to hurt Pacquiao. So Pacquiao, knowing he's going in against a mover and not wanting to look bad, he might have a certain game plan, like where he was a little bit apprehensive coming off a knockout loss to Marquez, fighting Brandon Rios, because Brandon Rios is dangerous because he has a chin and he has power and he's big. Chris Algieri doesn't pose the same threat. Again, any way you slice it, like look at Mayweather-Maidana 2. That fight can end a few different ways. It could end just the traditional Mayweather getting a decision at 147. It could end like some kind of stoppage if Mayweather really put it together and like press for it and offer some body shots, or if Marcos Maidana just wasn't prepared as much this time. Marcos Maidana has the power to hurt and stop Floyd as well. I mean, I'm not saying it basically wouldn't be out of the question. I'm not saying that's what I feel would happen. We know Maidana has the power to do that. You know what I mean? He has the power to hurt anyone at 147 if he catches them right. And he's unorthodox. Chris Algieri and Pacquiao doesn't have that many variables to it. Either Chris Algieri is going to outbox and make Pacquiao look sloppy and outbox him, or Pacquiao's going to win via maybe a stoppage or a distance, or convincingly win. But it's not as many variables. It's not as many like, oh, this could happen. There's no chance in hell. Like, I'll bet anybody $100 right now, cold hard cash, that Chris Algieri, despite anything, will not stop Pacquiao. $100 cash. Who wants to bet? I got a PayPal account right now. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like the video. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.